Hi, I'm Adam Woodlick, Executive Director at Basketball Manitoba, and welcome to the Basketball Manitoba All-Star Basketball Video Series. This series of videos is designed for both players and coaches to improve their knowledge and understanding on the great sport of basketball. This series is hosted by Basketball Manitoba High Performance Coach Kirby Shep, who will lead you through a number of different scenarios pertaining to the development of basketball at all levels of the game. You can use the controls at the bottom of your screen to quickly move to different segments of the video series. We hope you enjoy this presentation, and we wish you the best with your overall basketball development.
One of the ways that I like to teach shooting is to use a chair. First of all, to square the athletes so that their bodies are in perfect alignment, and also to sit them down and we can show them some simple things about hand position, body position, introduce some catchphrases that hopefully they can remember some of the fundamentals of shooting. This is not only for an introductory player, but for a remedial player or even for a more advanced player working to hone their skills. You can always work on the simple fundamentals of shooting. First thing that I teach kids is, first of all, sitting square in the chair, just like their grandmother told them, right? No slouching, sitting back, squaring their body up, squaring their legs up, getting used to being in this type of position. Then I tell them putting the ball on their shooting leg. What I mean by shooting leg is if they are a right-handed player, they put the ball on their right leg. If they're a left-handed player, put the ball on their left leg. Now, the thing that all basketballs have is an air hole. Finding the air hole will center the ball. Now, at no time do I want kids in a game when the ball comes to them to search for the air hole and put their hands on it, but this allows them to get a feel for where their hand should be in relation to the ball. Now, if they put their hand in the air hole and put what I call their nose picker finger, their middle finger, on the air hole, okay, now their hand is perfectly centered on the ball, lined up with the seams nicely. Okay? If they turn the ball over, they'll notice there's an X in the seams. If I put the heel of my non-shooting hand, so that's right there, on my non-shooting hand, on that X, my thumbs should line up in a T fashion. Okay? That's how I know my hands are in the right area. There's a T with a little bit of a gap in between. Now, if I look at my hands, I've got my nose picker finger on the air hole, I've got my hand on the X here, I've got a letter J with my index finger and my thumb, not a letter L, but a letter J, and a T with my two thumbs. My hands are in perfect position now to shoot the ball. The next and most important thing, really in almost any skill with the ball in the game, is to what I call load the gun. I'll turn this way so you can see this. Okay? And that is, any skill in the game involves you doing this motion with your wrist, whether that is a dribble action, a pass action, or a shooting action. So in order to do that, to save a step, we should always be holding the ball with our wrist extended in this way. It's what I call putting a wrinkle in the wrist or loading the gun. Now, I get them to lay their forearm on their shooting knee. We've got our nose picker finger in the air hole. We've got our J. We've got our T. We've got our wrinkle in the wrist or the gun loaded. And we're ready to go. Okay? One more important aspect is that they have a 90-degree bend in their elbow. Turning this way again, you'll see I have a 90-degree bend in my elbow. My hand position is perfect. And now they pivot only at the shoulder, bringing the ball up above their head. This is a really, really important thing here because they need to be looking underneath the ball. Now, admittedly, this is something that really young kids, when they first learn the game, are going to shoot from their chest. They're going to look over the ball simply because they don't have the strength to get the ball there. That's okay. Don't necessarily harp on that. This is something that they're going to get as they get older and they get a little more strength and they learn how to use their legs a little bit more. But it's certainly fine to introduce it to them now and start to get them thinking the way we want them to think. As long as they're doing some other simple fundamentals, we can certainly get them shooting the ball. So here in my chair, my forearms on my leg, my nose picker finger in the air hole, my J, my T, my wrinkle in the wrist, the gun's loaded, and balls up, balls down, up, down, up. Now at this point, it's important to go around and point a few things out to these kids. Their elbow is underneath the ball. It is not out here. The reason why I believe that that's really, really important is a couple of different things. First of all, if your elbow is out here, when you follow through with this motion, you have a tendency naturally to follow through this way. The way that players compensate for that is they flex their wrist in this way. Now you can try this right now at home. If you flex your wrist in this way, how does your forearm feel? Well, your forearm is naturally going to tighten up. Shooting is not something that you do really, really hard. I challenge you to give this a try. Try signing your name normally on a piece of paper. Then, try take that pen and flex every muscle in your arm as you sign your name again. What does your signature look like? Probably not very good. Shooting is the same thing. It's a smooth rhythm motion, and it's a fine motor activity. You can't do fine motor activities with every muscle flexed. So we've got to get ourselves in a relaxed state. Two things that needs to happen: elbow underneath the ball so our forearm is relaxed, and also, I believe, putting the elbow out as opposed to in. Because as soon as I do this, I can feel right now my back tensing up. Put my elbow out, I'm ready to go, and now I'm doing this motion right here. Okay, up and down. Now, we sit them up from our chair. And now the next most important thing is our bicycle stance. Getting our footwork in the proper position so that we're balanced both side to side and front to back. If I get them to stand on their shooting foot, which in my case is my right leg, okay, I put my left leg in the arch of my right leg, slide it apart, okay, about shoulder width. Now I'm in what I call bicycle stance. When you think about pedaling a bike, the pedals are opposite, are staggered. They're not directly across from each other. Also, you don't pedal a bike with your heels. You pedal it on the balls of your feet. And that is an athletic stance. I'm now balanced this way, and I'm balanced front to back. Okay? I get the ball in the right position, my nose picker finger in the ear hole, my J, my T, my wrinkle in the wrist, everything is ready. Good. Now I'm ready to shoot the ball. Now next, what we need to do next is get our joints moving in the proper way. And that is start from the legs and move up top. Okay? If you think about any sport, when you're trying to produce force, a pitcher in baseball, javelin, long jump, shot put, anyone producing force, they go from their large muscles to their small muscles. It's exactly the same thing here. We're going to go from up here to our fingertips. So now that we've learned how to hold the ball correctly, how to position our feet, our bicycle stance, we've got our basic footwork, we're going to demonstrate a really important thing that's really is prevalent in all sport, and that is what we call joint sequencing. We've got to get our power from our legs. I mentioned earlier about how it's a fine motor activity that you can't do while tensing yourself up while flexing. So we're trying to be as relaxed as possible in our upper body and our hands, and by doing that, we've got to get our power from our legs. So Justin's here is going to demonstrate getting his bicycle stance, get his J and T, get everything ready. Face that direction, please. Okay? He's got everything ready. He's ready. This is a great shooting stance. Now, to begin the shooting, imagine Justin is like a fire hose. Why I say fire hose? Because it gives a good image of, imagine a fire hose all curled up in the grass, and we crank on that water full speed. Well, what happens as the water rushes in? The hose begins to straighten out. It doesn't straighten out at the end, it straightens out at the beginning. So imagine here if I were to go down, if I were to crank on that hose right here in Justin's leg, that water comes up and it begins to straighten out the hose at its lower part. It begins to straighten out here, it begins to straighten out at the elbow, we come high, it straightens out there, and the ball finishes, and it follows through, and the water's coming out the end. And that's his follow through. We need to get that kind of motion so that he's using as less of his arms and his hands as possible, and the power is coming from his legs to go one smooth motion. Here, I'll pass the ball to Justin. Justin, get everything ready as if you had the ball in your hands. As soon as it hits your hands, he'll go right into his smooth shooting motion, follow through, and finish high. Great job. Okay, one more time. Remember, it's got to come from his feet. Imagine for a second that you had a little button on your hand, and as soon as the ball hit that button, it turns on the hose, and you go up in your shooting motion. Watch as Justin holds his follow-through at the end. Great job. Now, the test here is, can Justin smell his armpit? Woo! If he can smell his armpit, he's finished high. It's up here. If his finish is down here, he hasn't finished high enough. He needs to get that hand up. Now we take this a step further in that we're trying to get the kids to use their legs a lot more. So we do something called Dirk shooting, but I've added a little bit to it in terms of we added a squatting motion. What we're going to do is all the athletes line up on a line. Any line on the floor. Usually most gyms have all kinds of lines. Here we're using a lot of the badminton lines. Basically they're going to line up their shooting foot just on the outside of a line. Okay? What their partner is going to do, the partner is going to roll the ball to them along that line. Okay? They're going to pick the ball up. I want them to concentrate on, first of all, loading the gun, wrinkle on the wrist, getting a J, getting a T, getting everything all ready with their hands, squatting down, not bending like this, but actually squatting down to get the ball, emphasizing their legs, coming up, and shooting all in one motion, finishing high, elbow underneath the ball. What the line does for them is, the line provides instant feedback as to where the ball went. If I was doing it on this red line here, I'm up, I shoot the ball. If I land on the line, which I did, that means I know my body's in perfect alignment, I've finished high, everything is there ready to go. Thank you. Okay? So each partner is going to roll it to themselves, and we're going to work on this for a little while. Let's have a look at it. Good. Finish high, instant feedback on the line, see how it is. Roll it 2 or 3 times to each other, then trade sides. Again, this kind of thing can be done as a very, very basic level from introductory players all the way up to very high level players. The reason why it's called Dirk shooting is, from what I was told, it's done by Dirk Nowitzki in the NBA, where he works on his shooting. One of the best shooters in the world is breaking down his shots at this fundamental level. If guys like that can break down their shots at this fundamental level, then so can very, very young players, intermediate players, high school players, any age can. Good job, guys. Finish high, smell your armpit, everything's high, finish, follow through, fingertips pointing at the ground, elbows underneath the ball, feet are in good bicycle stance, you come up on your toes when you follow through. Great job. Now that we've started shooting on the move, we've worked on our footwork, we've got a basic idea of what shooting on the move is and shooting in rhythm, we're now going to put it in a little bit more of a drill situation. Now these drills are just set up in one particular way. You can do it any way you want. We can change the lines in different areas. We can shoot all different types of shots. You'll get the basic concept of the way it's set up, and then really you can change it however you want. We can put lines top, bottom. We can go corner, corner. We can go two up high. Basically, your imagination is your only limit on this one. This one is simply called a curl cut shot, where we have two lines of players. We have the first player in one line without a ball. Mike is simply going to walk down here, plant low. Okay, he's going to go slow to start, and then come quickly, turn his shoulder, show his hands. As the ball comes, he's planting that inside foot, what we talked about earlier with our front stop, turn, get up, and shoot the ball. Okay? Sterling will then come down, make his cut, and he will shoot the ball at the top of the key. Okay? Here we go, continuously as they switch lines. Let's get it started. Let's see what it looks like. Good. Remember, slow and quick, working on our cutting. Here we go. Excellent. Catch and shoot the ball. Good. Remember, finish high. Watch your footwork. We're really looking to see if they can stay on balance here. That they can come full speed on the move and catch and shoot in one motion while being on balance. That's what we're trying to get. Inside foot is our pivot foot at all times. So it's our left foot if you're coming from that side. It's your right foot if you're coming from that side. 1-2 stop into a bicycle stance. Remember, show target hands. Don't give them the ball if they're not showing hands. Don't give them the ball if they're not showing hands. Great job, guys. Good. Hang on a sec. Hold on now. Debbie, start up top. Now we're going to penetrate and pitch. Mike will drive it from the top. Debbie will slide to a spot. He'll pitch to her for a shot. And the drive will then come from Rebecca on this side, and Mike will slide to a spot. Here we go. Good job. Call for the ball. Now, what I want them to do is call for the ball when they're open and call the person's name you're going to pass to. Devin, call the name of the person you're going to pass to. Call the name. Good job, Alyssa. Call for the ball. Call for the ball. You want the ball, don't you? You want to be able to shoot the ball. You've got to call for it. Here we go. Drive it hard. Drive it hard. We're not going half speed. We're driving and creating. Moving to a spot to react to the defense. Keep shooting. You got to shoot to get hot. You got to shoot to stay hot. Okay, hold on. Now freeze for 1 second. Great. Now Adele's up top here. Okay. Adele has just made her pass in the drill. Now I'm going to add a little bit of guided defense. Again, anytime you can put guided defense into a drill where you add now a decision-making aspect, it makes the drill better and the kids learn more. I'm a big proponent that the game of basketball is all about making split-second decisions all the time, and we've got to add those to everything you do. So in this scenario now, Justin will drive. I will be acting like I'm guarding Adele. Now she drives hard, he drives hard here. I'm going to help, in which case he will hit her for the pass, and she'll catch it and shoot it. If there was a scenario, we reset that. If there's a scenario where maybe I didn't help, Justin would then read that, good, and score the ball himself. She'll get the rebound. Justin stays there. I'll come back up top, and we're good to go. Here we go. Good, help. Good. Okay, can we start it up? Let's go. Help. Good. Help. Good. You're here, Rebecca. Good. Help. 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 Good job. Good job. Remember, get ready, stay ready. Oh, I was in between there. I was in between. Let's let him do it. Who's up top? Who's up top? Go up top. Here we go. Slide to the spot. We'll take it out here. Excellent. Now we're playing. Good job. Good job. Getting off the move. Now you can score this drill. You can time this drill. We can do it in different situations where maybe we can keep a total score. Maybe we can do individually competitive. So want to add different elements to this. You can always do different things. Add a dribble, add different types of shots. Good job, guys. Nice talk, nice talk. Good job. Okay, freeze there 1 second. Let's go drive and drift shooting, okay? Jared's open there, so we'll go. Sterling will spin it, drive it hard, baseline. Jared drifts to the corner. We pitch it. Sterling comes out top for his shot. Great job. The reason why we're doing this is we want to get kids to learn how to move without the ball to create a passing angle. Basically, it's the Phoenix Suns offense. They let Steve Nash do whatever he wants pretty well, and the other 4 players basically have one person going to the hoop and 3 other people moving to spots on the floor where they're open to catch and shoot threes. That's basically a lot of a trend in the international game and is really becoming a trend in the NBA as well. Here's a great scenario where the key is oftentimes with one of the most crowded areas, and as Sterling drives, if Devin stays there, this is a very crowded path, a difficult pass to make. But if he slides to the corner, he now opens up a lane for himself to catch it and shoot it, okay? To add another shot to the drill, just to get us more reps, Sterling comes up top, catches and shoots the ball, okay? Remember to use your voice, and let's go, let's see it. Here we go. Good job. Here we go. Call for the ball. Excellent. Good. Good. Let's get it on the move now. Let's keep going on the move. We can do this from the right, from the left side. Let's make sure our passes are game passes. They're quick, they're on the money, they're fast passes. Get those balls out of there. Good job. Here we go. Drive it hard, drive it hard. No use doing any parts of the drill unless we're doing them at full speed. Here we go, catch and shoot the ball. Good job, catch and shoot the ball. Got to shoot to get hot, you got to shoot to stay hot. Here we go, that's it. Come for it hard, Alyssa. Good job, let's go, get it to her. Inside, put your plant. Great job.